So we're going to start with a story called Blocky Explains Blockchain by Brett Berry. Long after Blocky's first adventure in the blockchain was complete, tiny little blocks came to Blocky for stories about the feat. Tell us again how you found the end of the blockchain. Be more specific this time. Please don't refrain. Well, it started way back, long before I found my place. They called it Genesis, the blockchain's birthplace. A difficulty level was set, and a random puzzle was laid about. The puzzle adjusts with time, taking 10 minutes on average to figure out. One by one, a block is added to the list, and the ones behind it will continue to persist. Oh, and make sure to write this down. The further back a block is changed, the more confident you can be that its place will be maintained. Did I mention that each of us carries a unique plan of action? It's something the Genesis creators called transaction. A collection of transactions will tell us how the blockchain state has changed, after which we can determine what value has been exchanged. Each of these transactions has been cryptographically signed. They get put into a block, and then they are ready to be mined. So as you can see, this is a visualization for easy understanding of what a transaction would look like. It's the same way that you have to do a signing as well. Now, here's a trick that might be of use. It's the answer to the mining puzzle that you will need to deduce. I want you to think of the smallest number that you know. Now hash a number with 18 or more of those numbers in a row. All of the numbers have been embossed. Be sure that you are the first one to loudly broadcast, "I solved it." Once all of the nodes are in agreement, it's time for a celebration of your new achievement. But I purposely left out a fact that may strike fear in your heart. A fork, a divergence that breaks the blockchain apart. Be sure to choose the path you go down wisely, as convergence at a later date is quite unlikely. Now, one last parting word of advice. Be sure to back up all private keys to an offline storage device. Good night, safe hashing, and please share this story with other blogs in passing. So this is a story about how Blocky found his place in the blockchain. But he actually had an earlier story before this when he didn't know where he was and he wants to learn the real basics. So I want to introduce you to that as well. This is the sequel or the more complex version of that story. So let's rewind and go back to Blocky's start. This calls for a place in the blockchain. By the same author, Brett Berry. And this book is for his 3-year-old editor, Ada. Blocky awoke to a world blank and brand new. What could this small block offer? A tale of that adventure would soon ensue. Find a spot to fit in, Blocky thought to itself. That should be easy to do. Searching high, low, left and right, the path for Blocky was not yet in view. Asking for assistance, Blocky received a curt response. The blockchain is strong, not easily unwound. Once our arms are linked, they cannot be unbound. Would Blocky find a place in the blockchain? Blocky was not quite sure. How much more searching could this poor little block endure? Sitting and crying, would this really help the quest? No, it wouldn't, Blocky quickly confessed. Bouncing block to block with confidence renewed, all fear and confusion had quickly been subdued. A fork in the road, a path rarely straight. Which path? A question had caused much debate. Faster and cheaper, come the words from the shills. But never trust those who shout from the hills. Blocky's journey was then a puzzle, a race to find the proper spot. Although getting the answer the first time was a real long shot. At the end of the chain lies an address Merkle computed, the value which is not easily disputed. When Blocky finally arrived, all seemed clear. This adventure was only the start of a new frontier. Finally, Blocky found a place in the blockchain that will continue to grow. One block's work is done here, but that's not the end of the show. And here we have it. And later on, as you know about Blocky's story, he went on in finding his place and explaining to other blocks how the system works as well. For you to get a better understanding, I also have another story that I feel like would benefit you a lot. And this book is called Blockchain for Babies. This dream is actually pretty special to me because before it was a storybook that I personally made, but I wanted to let the kids have a more firm and hard or strong understanding of the basic concepts first before we delved into NFTs or the more complex subjects. But I feel like this was a good place to start. Okay, so this is a ball, correct? You can use a coin to buy the ball from Alice, and the person in green is Alice. Everyone can now see Alice has the coin, so Alice has a coin now because she traded the ball for the coin. But a digital coin is invisible. So how do we know who has the coin? The blockchain tracks who has the coin with the puzzle, which is also similar to what we had said before. with Blocky's experience, it was really difficult for him to find his place in the puzzle. And each of these are a block. So a Blocky, a Blocky, a Blocky, and a Blocky equals to a blockchain, as explained in the story before. Now, Alice has a coin, right? We all know that because she traded it for the ball. And Bob has an apple. So remember, square is Bob and circle is Alice. Alice uses the coin to buy the apple from Bob. And so now, as you can see it, Bob, the square, has the invisible coin, and Alice has the apple. This is a transaction. Now, everyone knows Bob has the coin. And like I explained in the story before, I'm just trying to tie that in now so that we all have a better understanding of what is happening. Each transaction, it requires a signing. So a contract, per se. So in the story before, we saw a piece of paper and a signing. It's similar to that, but it's digital, in a digital wallet. So now everyone knows Bob has a coin, correct? So again, square, Bob, and now we have a new character, Charlie, who is a triangle. So Bob uses a coin to buy a carrot from Charlie. And so now Charlie has a coin and Bob has the carrot. This is another transaction, which, as you can see, is similar to the one before, which creates another block. Now, two transactions together, what does it create? They connect. Now, Charlie, the triangle, uses a coin to buy a pear from Diana. And Diana is a very cool shape. It's a pink and white square. So now, Diana has the coin and Charlie has the pear because they did another transaction. As you can see here, there is a loop and a transaction. And they all form the blockchain. So like I said, each transaction is a block. And like I said, remember how before we said blockchain, once it is bound, you cannot be unwound? So this was all the blockies linking hands and joining together to form a very long blockchain. And somewhere in here, Blocky will fit, which he was desperately trying to find his place. So here's another scenario, right? Alice pretends she still has the invisible coin. And Alice wants to buy a pear from Diana. And as we can see here, this is Diana and this is Alice. The circle is Alice. And Alice still has an invisible coin. This is also a transaction, but keep in mind that this is invalid because it does not fit into the blockchain. Why? Because Alice pretended she had the coin, but she didn't have the coin. And so it will not fit into the blockchain because it will not go through. As you can see, it's like a puzzle. It has to match. Because Alice had already spent her coin before to buy an apple. And so this is how the blockchain tracks the invisible coin. And now you know the very basics of the blockchain. Just now, the story that you learn about Blocky and his experience, it all links back to this concept as well. I'm also going to be posting the links for the books in the Whale Kids chat room. I bought the books for you guys to learn more. And so without further ado, now that you understand the very basics of the blockchain, I decided to move on to a even more fun topic. And like I said, it was about sea animals and sea creatures, and specifically the shark. This book is very dear to my heart because I grew up reading these books, and it is the infamous Dr. Seuss, the writer of Cat in a Hat. And so I'm very excited to be sharing this book with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy. This book is called Hark a Shark. By Dr. Seuss. I'm the cat in the hat, and for more than a lark, would you care to go a brand new kind of park? In a super shark tank that is like a small sea, we will visit the sharks. Do you dare come with me? Sharks seem very scary to us. It is true, but most sharks are really no danger to you. People fear sharks, and that's mostly because of films that star sharks with big, snapping jaws. As you can see here, people are very scared of sharks, but there's actually not much to be scared about. But give sharks a chance. I think you will find that they will dazzle your eyes and broaden your mind. See this wonderful boat bobbing here on the water? It's my super stupendous shaped shark spotter. Try to say that with me. For tracking down sharks. It's the best, don't you know? So hop on aboard and shark spotting will go. Over 400 species swim the seas today. Let's visit with some of them. Anchors away. So let's go on and see the sharks. Sharks have been around long before the dinosaur. About 400 million years, maybe more. As you can see here, you can see the size of the sharks. And we have the man, the great white, and the Megalodon. I've seen a lot of photos of these online and on the internet, and I have to say they are terrifying, but maybe this book will change my perception on them. And the Megalodon is a prehistoric shark. Fossils of shark teeth simply abound. More than 200 species to date have been found. We never find bones because sharks don't have those. Sharks are made out of cartilage, just like your nose, and your nose is made out of cartilage. So, a very interesting fact. Cartilage helps sharks to turn and to bend and to move through the water much faster, my friend. Like a brave knight's thick suit of mail, a shark's skin protects it without fail. So as you can see, Dr. Seuss is now wearing a very thick suit, so trying to illustrate that a shark's skin can protect it very strongly, and it's very, very rigid and strong. Stroke the skin head to tail, it is smooth, you will see. Stroke the skin tail to head, it's rough as it can be. So you can see here, they have arrows to show if whether you stroke it from head to tail and whether you stroke it from tail to head, the texture is very different. But why is that? That's because it is denticles, hard, toothy stuff that lies flat for swimming but makes the skin tough. So why does it lie flat for swimming? It's so that they can glide through the water without friction, so frictionless. It can just whoosh, just glide through. But the scales, the toothy, hard denticles, makes it strong and rough so that other animals don't bite into their skin that easily and they can protect themselves. So it's very, very interesting. A whale's skin gets dirty and gunky, you see, but a shark's skin stays clean and it's nearly gunk-free. As you can see here, we're all in the submarine and we're looking at the sharks. It's tough and it's rough, and it's sleek and it's clean. Shark skin's unlike anything you've ever seen. These fake shark skin suits help swimmers to swim. So as you can see, in a lot of swimsuits, and even if you go to the beach or if you go to the swimming pool, you'll notice that they use the same mechanisms that sharks have because they glide through the water very easily, but then they're also very thick and they don't get broken very easily. So as you can see in the picture here, you can kind of see it mimics the scales of the sharks or the denticles on the sharks, which is it's a fun fact. It's a nice thing to know. Human skin grafts are grown from shark skin. Very interesting. And grunk falls right off the shark's spotter side because of a paint that is rough like a shark's hide. So basically, the gunk falls off the shark's skin very easily, so you don't have to worry that it's going to collect gunk like whales do. Looking for a shark's teeth? There are plenty. Know why? Most sharks have a nearly unending supply. So as you can see, look at all the shark teeth at the bottom of the sea. From a jaw made of bone, your human teeth grow. Shark teeth grow from gums in row after row. So as you can see, it's very different from a human skull and how humans are built. There's multiple rows of teeth, and thank goodness we don't have multiple rows of teeth, because it also would be pretty scary. When a tooth becomes loose or else gets a bad crack, it will soon be replaced by a tooth in the back. So it can all be replaced, so even if one tooth falls out, another one can replace it, so there's no worries at all. Food will your average shark choose? Most sharks hunt for meat when they go out to cruise. So look at that. That is pretty scary, isn't it? They bite on lobsters, they go for seals. They are natural-born predators. Great white's teeth are sharp for tearing and munching. Horn shark's teeth are flat for crushing and crunching. So there are many, many different types of sharks. As you can see, this is the horn sharks, very different looking. And their teeth are very flat. So as you can see, they're biting on lobsters, and lobsters have a very thick shell, and so you're going to have to need that to crunch through it. As for great whites, they're going to need sharp teeth to pierce through the skin of other animals, even though it gives me chills just talking about it, because we don't like harming animals, even though it's the natural cycle for, sharks and predators and prey. It's a food chain. This shark you see here might fill you with awe, but the tiniest teeth fill its giant maw. So guys, this is the whale shark. So believe it or not, a whale shark is the founder of whales. So there you go. This is the whale shark. This is our whale shark. It is the largest shark that you'll ever meet. We measured it, and it's 44 feet. Wow, look at that. And it's an awesome drawing too, I must say. And I am in awe. What is our giant friend's favorite dish? Plants and animals called plankton, and wee tiny fish. So the whale shark doesn't eat any other animals, but they eat very tiny fish only, and planktons. So they're pretty docile animals, you could say. These gill rankers here act just like a sieve. They sift out food the whale shark needs to live. So as you can see, the planktons go in, the tiny fishes and the planktons go in, and they sift out the food. So there you go. So it's a very interesting animal. When a shark swims along, its mouth opens wide. Water that comes in goes out the gills on the side. So the water comes into the mouth, and then the water also goes out from the gills on the side. Its tail beats the water and swings side to side. See how smoothly this leopard shark here seems to glide. So the whole thing that I talked about here, when the water comes into the mouth and it gets filtered out of the gills, it's how they actually breathe. So it's different from how us humans breathe on land, and that's how sharks breathe underwater. The pectoral fins lift. I've been thinking, like two airplane wings to keep the sharks from sinking. So these fins have to keep moving, and the tail also has to keep moving to, like an airplane, to make sure that the shark doesn't sink to the bottom, and he keeps moving and moving and moving. Dorsal fins on the top stand up and are ready to keep sharks upright. swimming even and steady. So I don't know if you guys have watched the movie Jaws or any scary shark movies, but you always hear the music dun 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 dun, and then you can see the shark fin just emerging from the water, and you can see him coming your way. Well, that is called the dorsal fin, and it is quite scary, I have to say. Or movies have made it scary. With its wide pectorals, the angel shark lies flat, and as still as a rug. Will you just look at that? So this is called the angel shark. They lie flat on the ground, and you think that it's just snapping, or you think that it's part of the ground because of its color. It's actually camouflaging. And they're very passive in the sense that they wait for these tiny animals or these fishes these aquatic animals to come to them. And then suddenly they go snap. And then they gobble you up. So it's so still that you might think that it's just snapping. Then suddenly, look, its strong jaws are snapping. So as you can see here, they're lying very flat. And look, it just goes snap. And it'll take you by surprise. The shark comes equipped with a keen inner ear that senses whenever its prey might be near. So look at where its ear is. It's near its eye, which is very cool. It's inner ear. So they have a very strong hearing sense because sharks are actually blind. So they actually have to use their other senses into sensing their prey. And so here is a diagram of the inner ear. And the nostril, like holes that sit under its snout, sniff out prey that is lurking about. The name that we give these two holes is nares. It's helpful to know that the word rhymes with fairies. That is true. It rhymes with fairies, and it's helpful to know. So that's why they say when you're being attacked by a shark, even though it's quite highly unlikely, you go for the eyes first. Because why? Because, like I said, sharks cannot see. So in an act of self-defense, that is what people usually do. Or that's what they're born against, or what you're supposed to do in that scenario. Nurse sharks have whiskers. And what are they for? These whiskers, called barbels, sweep the seafloor. Are these sharks really nurses? We don't know. Maybe in their own sea kingdom, maybe they are, and that's why people started calling them that. But look at that. It's cool that their barbels sweep the floor as well, cleaning the place. These whiskery gizmos do not go to waste. The shark uses them to feel and to taste. So to feel and to taste, how would you think that would work? So for example, if they swim very close to the coral reef, or they swim very close to the ground, they can perhaps sniff out and feel the animals, the aquatic animals and the fishes swimming by, and then they can gobble them up and eat and have their dinner. There's a line of pores along the shark's sides. The pores are like sensors set into the shark's hides. They pick up vibrations from prey all around, cluing sharks as to where their prey can be found. So as you can see here, there's a lateral line, and there are pores all around the sides, and they can pick up vibrations. So this all lines up because they can't see. They're missing a very vital sense. So they have to make it up through other physical senses to sniff out their prey. Which is very interesting that they can actually feel it, the vibrations through their body, to figure out where, or the location of, or if whether their prey is far or whether they're near. And they don't even need to see. Most sharks, as a rule, have quite keen eyesight. Oh, their eyes can see well in both dim and bright lights. The predator's shy shark's long tail whips around and helps hide it from predators, shark experts have found. So as you can see, the tail kind of moves around really quickly, and so it hides from the predators. And it can also hide really quickly because, as you can see with the color again, with the camouflaging. And a lot of sharks actually have this ability to camouflage with the sand and the ground and the floor. The hammerhead shark's range of sight overlaps, giving it much better vision, perhaps. So as you can see, the hammer shark's head is very wide, and they called it the hammer shark because it looks like a hammer, doesn't it? But who needs sharp eyes? Way down deep in the murk, where this rare goblin shark's nose does all the work. So who needs good eyes when the goblin shark has an amazing nose, a pointy nose? I would call this a unicorn shark. Yes. But then it is a very cool nose. Some sharks are hatched out of eggs in a case that is hidden by mom in a very safe place. So these are the eggs, as you can see. And it's hidden by the moms just so that they can protect the babies. Some shark eggs hatch inside mom and then thrive on egg yolk till they're big enough to survive. So here is a baby, and attached to it is the egg yolk sac. And then, so they have this in order to survive. Lemon sharks, like us, as I have just read, grow in their mom's bodies where they're safe and fed. So, for example, if you've ever seen videos of female sharks carrying babies, you can actually see that the babies are usually on the mother's stomach, which is very interesting. It's a very cool phenomenon as well. This pup is born live, rests a bit, and then hark! Off it goes on its own. That's the life of a shark. Things 2 has come up with this most clever verse. An empty egg case is called a mermaid's purse. Huh, very cool, a mermaid's purse. Tagging is how we have learned very much about many sharks' habits, and movements and such. So tagging would be adding a device on them to track where they are with satellites, so we can see their movement, how fast the sharks swim, where they swim, and we can kind of get to know more about sharks and understand more about them. Lemon sharks get tagged and do not seem to mind. Other sharks mind it plenty, I think you will find. So lemon sharks, as you can see, they don't mind getting tagged, but other sharks, they seem to mind it plenty. Tags offer data like this bit. For instance, a blue shark can swim a very long distance from Brazil to New York. In 16 months' time, from New York, it will swim 4,000 miles so far off Brazil. Wow. Look how fast they can swim, and how long they can swim as well, for long duration of time. It's very interesting. 16 months from Brazil. From New York to Brazil. The things are now holding a shark spotter contest to reward each shark here for what it does best. So let's see who does best in the shark kingdom. The whale shark is the biggest. We've said this before. The smallest, dwarf lantern shark, about 8 inches, no more. The fastest is Mako. It's speed whiz. The wobbegong might be the slowest there is. Look at that. So the reason why it's the slowest is probably because they're waiting for prey. So they're also one of those passive animals that wait for their prey to come to them and then they go snap. And also here you can notice the whiskers, and we've mentioned this before, it's so that they can sense and they can smell and feel their prey and when they're near and when they're close. What sort of shark is this that I spot? It looks like a thresher shark here, does it not? It has a long tail. See how that tail swishes to round up its dinner, a moat full of fishes? So look, its tail is rounding up the fishes to make sure they all come his way, and then he goes snap, again rounding up his dinner. Longest tail award. Now, the tiger shark isn't fussy. It'll eat anything, a clock or a stool or a rusty bed spring. So he got the award for the least fussy eater. The cookie cutter shark, with his big teeth, rips neat, perfect circles, sucked free with his lips. And that has the neatest bite. So look at that, it can bite. Perfect circles, which is very cool. The spiny dogfish, just call him Granddad, lives as long as some humans. That's some life he's had. Longest life. The megamouth. It glows in the dark. Light works as a lure for this deep water shark. And this one has the brightest smile because its light works uses they use a light work to lure the prey to come into its mouth, and so they can eat it. And the best teamwork goes to these white-tip reef sharks, sometimes swim in packs and hunt as a team for their favorite snacks. For the coolest move, we have the spinner shark here. Confuses its prey by spinning its body in a dizzying way. So think about that, confusing your prey by dancing, essentially. That's pretty cool. Most feared. The great white looks deadly upon close inspection, but may be in danger without our protection. Our visit is over, but hold on, not quite. Let's spend some more time with the deadly great white. The great white is simply a hunting machine. Watch it at work and you'll see what I mean. Dark on its top side and lighter below. It can sneak up no matter the angle, you know? Its jaw gut out far, the better to grip. Its teeth are made so as to bite and to rip. So as you know, like we talked about before, how the shark's teeth grow in a rows and rows and rows, and that's to rip away their prey. So it's pretty cool. Its big head shakes hard to loosen and snatch. Its eyes roll far back, avoiding a scratch. If you swim where it's safe, sharks will leave you be. You will stay as safe as on land, you will see. Around this hard fact, I will not haw or hem. Sharks should fear us more than we do them. Sharks are in danger. This I will repeat. People hunt them down for sports and for meat, for oil and for their remarkable skins, and let's not forget, for their dorsal fins. People are not the shark's natural prey, but too many people think it's that way. They want to get sharks before sharks get us. Let's speak for the sharks and stir up a fuss. Do your bit to help. Here's what you might say. To shark fin soup supper, just say yuck, no way. Do not go shark fishing, just for a lark. Just let the sharks be. Yes, let's save the shark. And there you have it, guys. It is the end of the storybook and also the end of our story time. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. And I will see you guys next week for a very interesting stream as well. Next week, we're going to be having Milia and Rose back again to teach us some origami. So hopefully I'll see more of you guys. And I can't wait to craft some paper toys together. That being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day and take care. See you.